Okay. Welcome everybody. Jason Russell, Neo Home Loans. I am the chair of the NSCAR Finance Committee, and we're really excited today to bring our finance forum. And we felt like it would be something that would be really, really top of mind for what's going on in the world and what's going on in the industry, and that is specifically around the idea of AI. And I think that there are, a lot of different views on what AI can and can't do, and what AI essentially will do for us and potentially against us in the future of our industry. And one of the things that I think there are really two common beliefs that potentially hold most people back who don't have any, history or experience with AI. And that is number one, it's too complicated. I'm not tech savvy enough and I won't be able to pick it up. That's concern that I hear, number one. And then the second concern that I hear is the idea that AI is going to replace us, right? And I would say, estate industry, we may have learned our lesson from Zillow, for example, right? We never thought that that would get as big as it has, but yet here they are, right? Like Zillow is a monster. And so a lot of people don't want to engage with AI on the idea that I don't want to make it any better to potentially replace us. And what I would say to both of those things is that, ultimately at the end of the day, technology is a one-way street and nobody's going backwards. There is nobody who is trading in their car for a horse-drawn buggy. Nobody is turning in your iPhone for a rotary dial telephone. Nobody is, trading in that nice new Tesla for a Model T. Nobody's trading their Google super fast fiber internet for AOL dial-up, right? Like that is the way of technology. Once the cat's kind of out of the bag, you can't go backwards, right? And I think my view of real estate, specifically when it comes to AI, is that nobody in real estate's going to go back to not using AI once they understand the leverage that it gives to them. And what I hope to show you guys in this webinar today is a couple of ways that you can leverage AI. And there are multiple different experience levels, and we'll talk about that in a minute. But the reality is that AI is essentially virtually free and it's virtually limitless when it comes to computing power. And rather than treating it as a competitor that could potentially try and replace you at some point as far as your job is concerned, I think if you treat it like a partner, it's almost like hiring a personal assistant that has an IQ of like 400. And so I think historically in our industry, we have had a view that, that I think there needs to be a mindset shift, right? And what I mean by that is historically we have asked ourselves, how do I do that hard thing, right? Whether it be trying to create a team, whether it be trying to bring more business in the door, whatever it is, we have been asking ourselves, how do I do that hard thing? And then we move that mindset, we shift that to who could do that hard thing, not how do I do it. Once you figure out how it's done, you ask yourself, who does it, right? And do you expand your team to do that? Do you do it yourself at the cost of more time with your family, or less time on lead generation or any other sort of part of your business? I think the mindset shift now that you have an opportunity to use AI for is, how could AI do that? Right? And because when we grow our businesses, we hire an assistant, we hire a TC, we delegate, we outsource the work that needs to be done. And in my view, the future is not just who can I hire, it's can I get AI to do this? And in from what I have seen and I'll show you some use cases here. Uh, this is how top realtors are scaling. And the reality is that willpower does not work. Benjamin Hardy said, willpower doesn't work in a distracted world. And for anybody who's read Atomic Habits by James Clear, he said that environment is the invisible hand that shapes behavior. And so if you want to use AI consistently, and I think you will after spending an hour together today, I don't want you to rely on motivation. I want you to design your environment so AI becomes the easy button. Just like we don't go back now and look in encyclopedias for information, we just Google it, right? It's become a verb. And I think we're going to get to that point. But there are different levels of where your experience level is with AI. And to that end, I want to make sure that we are covering a little something for everybody involved, whether you are a brand new beginner, you're just on the bunny hill of AI and you're going to get on the green hill, right? I'm going to show you how to set up that AI operating system to win. And if you're a little bit more intermediate, I'm going to show you how prompts are important and how we can use this for sales, marketing, and lead gen. And then I'm for some of the advanced people, I'm going to show you the idea of what custom GPTs can do for you. And in between here, we're going to stop. We're going to be able to answer some questions that may come up. My buddy in charge here, Eric Riley from Pacific Community Lender, is going to be monitoring the chat. E, is there anything in the chat or the Q&A or anything that we want to touch on before we jump into the bunny hill, if you will?
Yeah, one thing John mentioned was he can't see a chat.
Oh,
Chat disabled.
He says it's chat disabled.
well, I, that would be helpful if I can enable the chat. Show chat previews, chat, webinar chat. John says it's disabled. Can chat with everyone. Attendees can chat with everyone. There we go. Okay. I think I solved that problem.
Let me ask John to confirm. Looks like he
Eureka. He's
confirmed.
all right. Everyone is in.
There we
Beautiful.
go.
I've got chats. Okay, so if you guys have questions, put them in the chat, put them in the Q&A, and let us jump into it. And E, if you see any questions that come up in the meantime, holler at me because I'm not paying attention to the chat.
Will do.
Cool. All right. So let's first talk about the most basic thing. Now, first off, I have an Android, so I've got the screenshot of the Android. I had a buddy of mine with an iPhone give you some iPhone points here. So we're going to be talking about ChatGPT today. I want to preface this by saying I don't care whether you use ChatGPT or if you use Grok or if you use Perplexity or if you use Claude or if you use Gemini or Meta AI or whatever you want to use. I don't want to necessarily get into the weeds as to which one is the best. I can just tell you, I personally enjoy ChatGPT the most, and that's the one that I use. And so that's what I'm going to be focused on. I'm not saying you can't try out other ones. I would just say that, it would be probably behoove you to focus on one and then work your way out from there. So the first thing that I would ask that you guys do if you are sitting here watching this on the computer is to take an opportunity to go download ChatGPT from the App Store. And you can kind of see on both iPhone and Android what that app badge looks like. It's white with a little, I'm guessing that's a chain or something going on there. But I think what's important, and there's neuroscience behind this to show that what is in front of us at all times is how we are most likely to operate in using something, right? And so what my suggestion is after you download it, you then are going to create a widget on your home screen. So you're going to do that by holding down the button on the app, and depending on whether you're on an iPhone or an Android, you're going to hit the widget button. And then from there, I want you to create that widget and I want it to be fairly large. And we can help with this if you need it, but this is how I suggest that it looks at the end of the day, is having this message chat GPT kind of right
Jason,
there in your, yeah, go ahead.
are you supposed to be sharing your screen?
Oh my God, this is my first Zoom call. Hold on. From beginning, share screen. Keep me honest here, E. We good?
All good.
Okay, cool. So again, you're going to download this. This is how it looks like on Android versus iPhone. So you're going to download that ChatGPT. Then you're going to hold the app down, and you're going to then create a widget. And then from there, it's going to look like this on the front of your cell phone. And within this, you can see here, there are basically 5 different ways you can now interact with ChatGPT or any really AI that you decide that you want to download. And the first thing that I would suggest, if you are brand new, if you are on the bunny hill, you are on the green slopes here of AI, and you've never used ChatGPT in your life, my recommendation of how to start with this is simply whatever you were going to Google, put it into ChatGPT first. You will see that the difference in the outputs that you get from asking a question of, how do I bake a cake? Or how do I don't know, install a refrigerator water line, right? Like those kinds of things will be so much better coming from ChatGPT than you will find from Google. And so one of the ways that you can do that is where you see on the screen where it says message ChatGPT, you can just go in there and you can just type away, right? Just like you're used to doing in Google right now. Or maybe some of you guys are using Bing or something, I don't know. But if you're using Google, you just go and type the question, right? Type whatever you want, and you will get a response back from ChatGPT right there on your front home screen. Now, there are 4 buttons underneath that that allow you to interact with AI in different ways. The first one, which looks like a little wavelength, there on the left side, that is actually a conversational version of chatting with ChatGPT. So you're using your microphone, and ChatGPT is actually talking back to you. You pick the voice that it comes back with, and you can actually have a legitimate conversation with ChatGPT using that button. The second button there, the camera, is you can use your camera. It opens up your camera, and you can take a picture of something and ask it a question. So I'll give you a use case. A couple of weeks ago, there was this giant bug in my backyard, and I had never seen a bug like this. It looked like a zebra or something. And I just took a picture with ChatGPT and said, "What is this?" And it came back and told me what kind of bug it was. And then sure enough, it was all over the like Vacaville Facebook pages. Everyone was trying to figure out what this bug was. And so I thought that was pretty neat. You can do the same thing with that third button right there, which is just the difference being rather than using your camera, you're going to upload a picture from your phone. And then the fourth one is, let's say you're driving and you have a question for ChatGPT. You don't want to necessarily have a verbal conversation where ChatGPT speaks the answer back to you, but you can use that microphone, ask the question, and then the response will come back to you in text. So the gist of this is the idea of putting it right there on the front of your phone. That's my very first screen that we see when we open up our phones. It will behaviorally begin to make sure that you are using this. And I promise you, the more that you use it, the easier it's going to get. And the more you're going to want to use it. And you're going to go, wow, it gave me like such a thorough answer on this question. I wonder if I asked it something else, what would it do? And your questions get a little bit more detailed, a little bit more specific. And then all of a sudden, you're using it all the time. Like, I can't remember the last time I actually Googled something. I've been using chat for my search bar for quite a while now. So if you're brand new and you take nothing else from this, call today, I would say let's start with that. It's a great jumping off place and a great place for you to get familiar with the system. Any questions, E, on the chat so far? Good?
I was actually just responding to Debbie. She was asking what category would you recommend she sign up under?
Oh, that's a great question. We're going to talk about that a little bit. Actually, why don't we just do it right? I'm gonna hold off on answering that, but we will absolutely cover it. Now, if you're on a computer instead of your cell phone, my recommendation would be let's take some time to configure your startup websites. Okay. So again, if you've ever read Atomic Habits by James Clear, there's a couple of things that he suggests that you do. And the first of which is making something obvious. And what that means is for me, the things that I want to make sure I'm doing every day, I have startup tabs open on my Google Chrome. So this is Google Chrome when you open it. If you go to the top right corner of your browser and you hit the three dots, and then you go to settings, and then you go to on startup, you can put a list of websites that you want to open automatically every time you start Google Chrome. And so for me, I use Salesforce as my CRM. I want that open every day. I use MBS Highway to track the markets to see what's going on with mortgage rates every day. I have my personal email open. I have my Google Messages, so text messages from my phone pop up on my computer because I'm at my computer all day. I post a lot on social media, so I've got Twitter, Facebook, and Instagram open. I've got my coaching dashboard that I track my activities for my coach for accountability. And then finally, you can see there ChatGPT, right? You can see ChatGPT opens automatically. Now, you could even take this to the next level, right? Where inside of where you would normally type in a URL, you can actually change that to where it doesn't search Google, it searches ChatGPT. I'm not going to just recommend that we necessarily go there to this point, but I would highly recommend that you add ChatGPT to your startup websites every time Chrome is open because that's going to put it in your face. You're not going to forget about it, and you're just going to go in there, and have an opportunity to play around in it. So again, that's in your Chrome. You're going to go to the three dots in your right corner. You're going to go to settings, and then you're going to go to on startup, and then you're going to plug in any websites that are important to you that you would want to open up every time that you start Google. So again, James Clear, first thing that he says in Atomic Habits is you got to make it obvious. And by pinning ChatGPT as a tab on your startup website, you're making it obvious. Now, the second thing that he kind of talks about is making it attractive. And to me, the way that you need to make it attractive, and this is really, really, really important, is when you go into ChatGPT, you need to tell it who you are. You need to personalize it, right? And so this is an example of what mine looks like. What do I do for a living? I'm a division leader and a mortgage loan officer at a company called Neo Home Loans, and I put a bunch of stuff in there. What traits should ChatGPT have, right? So I'm asking it to help me improve my thinking, spot my blind spots by identifying things I may not have considered. When I'm asking for marketing copy or scripting questions, I need you to be a world-class sales trainer and coach, drawing on the expertise of sales and persuasion experts like Dale Carnegie, Dr. Robert Cialdini, Donald Miller. Who else do I have in there? Neil Ford. I've got a lot of people in there. Now, if you're an agent, you might say, I would like you to draw on the expertise of sales and persuasion experts like Brian Buffini or Tom Ferry or Ryan Serhant, like whatever it is, like you want to tell your chat GPT what traits it should have, right? And I tell it, I use relaxed but professional language, and I like edgy humor when educating. This is like if you do nothing else when you're logging into ChatGPT, this has to be the first thing. If you're going to use it for business, you have to make sure it knows you. You have to give it an idea of what your personality looks like. And at the end of the day, AI is only as intelligent as the human who's programming it. And so you have to take the 10 minutes to go in here and tell it about yourself because it's going to make the results that you get when asking questions and having it do projects for you so much more impactful by going in and doing this. Any questions that are worth stopping for
Well,
at this point?
we did have a second question about the version. And I
Sure.
just found out that when I type and respond, nobody else can see it.
Oh, well, you're not.
Yeah, I guess.
Let me see. Let's go back in the old settings here. Panelists can chat with everyone. Attendees can. Okay,
Mhm.
now you can respond. I've given you the
Ah,
the
great.
power.
Thanks.
Okay, so let's pause. I'm gonna stop sharing for a second. So let's talk about the different versions, right? So there is the free version, and this is a fine version to start with if you want to play around with it. But a lot of what I'm going to show you moving forward, you're going to need the $20 version a month. And when I show you what this can do for you, um, the pro version um, that's 20 bucks a month is worth its weight in gold, in my opinion. And then the third version is the business version. It's kind of like a Teams account, right? So if you, and let's say you have a marketing assistant or a TC or somebody that's working alongside you really closely, and you want to create projects or GPTs, which we'll talk about here in a little bit, that you want the other person to have access to when they log in, you would want to create something like a business team account where everybody has access to what everybody else is looking at. That's a little bit more expensive. Last I looked, I think it's $30 a seat. So if you have multiple people on the team, this is probably the way to go. The fourth option, which I'm going to just briefly touch on, is like we at our company, we have what's known as an enterprise account with ChatGPT. And what is really important about this is it allows for me to take things like a client's credit report, a client's tax return, very specific private information, and upload it to the ChatGPT to do whatever it is I want it to do, right? Like for me, as a loan officer, I might say, hey, I want you to calculate income. Here's pay stubs, W-2s, and a tax return. I can do that. And I can do it safely because we have an enterprise agreement with OpenAI, who runs ChatGPT, that says none of the data that I upload to this system can be used in your LLM, your large language model, which is basically what ChatGPT and AIs are built on. And so, as we start to show some of these more advanced techniques, if you're thinking about, uploading anything that is very, non-public, really private information for a client, do not do that unless you have an enterprise account with your organization to be able to do that, because there's privacy issues. And if I were your client, I would absolutely not want you uploading all my personal documentation to the ether that some AI can learn off of in the future. So my understanding is that the business account does give you, they say at least, that you have that level of protection. I cannot confirm that. We decided we were going to create a legally binding agreement with OpenAI before we did any of that stuff. So um, that's a long way of saying, to me, if you're just an individual person that wants to give it a shot here and use it, to me, the $20 version is very much worth it because it allows you to do a couple of things. Number one, the you don't get slowed down. The free version, a lot of times, if you're using it a ton in one day, it'll be like, sorry, I'm not answering any more questions for you for a while. You need more tokens. And so in those scenarios, you're going to run out of steam, if you will, on for a given set of time. Whereas you get to the pro version, I have never been slowed down or stopped from that. Second thing is you can upload things, right? You can upload pictures, you can upload PDFs, you can upload Excel. I've heard multiple people tell me they uploaded their medical records to get feedback on like scans and things like that. So you need to be able to have that upload capability, which is in the $20 a month version. So for me, there's no doubt it's well worth the money to kind of upgrade to the pro version. Cool. All right, so let's go back to our presentation, share screen, and off we go. All right. So again, take the time to go in and customize it. And the way that you do that inside of ChatGPT is you're going to go to your name down in the bottom left corner. You're going to go to settings. You're going to go to personalization, and then you're going to turn custom instructions on. And that's going to open this screen that you see here. And I want you to go in there and tell it what you want it to answer like. And this is, this is kind of like if you're Brian Buffini, you're kind of annoyed, right? You've spent decades building a brand and putting out books and seminars and all those things. ChatGPT can just crawl it and get the information and then sound just like Brian Buffini, right? And so I think, from a societal perspective, there should probably be some, compensation given to folks for their IP, but that's not the case. So, go in here and tell it what you want it to talk to you like and to talk to you about. Okay, so again, that's, we talk about James Clear and Atomic Habits. First off, the first thing that he says, right, is we're going to make it obvious. We're going to put it in our face when we start our computer. Second thing is we're going to make it attractive, and we have to make it attractive by making sure that the answers we're getting from it are really good, and we're like, wow, this is really cool. And the best way you're going to do that is through the personalization and the customization of your ChatGPT. Now, the third thing that James Clear says is that you need to make it easy. And so this is kind of the main screen that you see when you log into ChatGPT. And what I would suggest is that, here on the left side, you can start a project. And if you're thinking about doing, some potential marketing or things of that nature, or anything that you're going to use repeatedly, a project is a really good place to do it because you can give it instructions, you can kind of set the stage for something that you're going to return to later. And we'll give you some examples of how that looks. If you want to just ask, like, where's the best place to get Thai food in my city? Like, you can go up here and just go to the new chat section, right? Like, you can just have a million of those and just ask the question and move on, right? It may not be something that you need to return to. But if you do, then you can go into the search chats, right? And you're like, hey, where was that Thai place it gave me 3 weeks ago? You can go in there, search the word Thai, and boom, it'll pull up that chat that you had with it 3 weeks ago. And again, the fourth thing that James Clear says in Atomic Habits is that you want to make it satisfying, right? And I think when I show you some real ways that this is going to save you some time or potentially generate leads, you're really going to appreciate it, and you're going to want to come back to it, right? At the end of the day, the more you see it, the more you're going to use it, and the more you use it, the better results that you're going to see. So this is really just kind of the beginner section, if you will, right? It's just setting up that chat GPT, set it up to work in the way that you kind of want it to work. So any questions that came up? I just went and looked at the chat. Looked pretty cut and dry for the most part.
Nothing new.
Okay. So I'm happy to stop here if you guys want to ask any other general questions just about like, hey, on the bunny slopes, what are we doing here? That being said, let's move on to, if we don't have any questions, let's move on to kind of the intermediate hill, if you will. And this is where, to me, the rubber is really going to meet the road in terms of how you can utilize AI. And so the overarching thing I want you to think about when we're talking about moving into kind of an intermediate hill of using AI is understanding the importance of prompting. And what I mean by that is the prompting being the question that you ask ChatGPT or the task that you're giving ChatGPT is oftentimes referred to as a prompt. And what's so important about this is the more detailed you give the prompt, the better the result is going to, to get in return. Right? So I'm going to give you an example. I'm going to share my screen again here, and I'm going to give you an example of what I believe is a very thorough prompt for ChatGPT. So here it is. I'm working on creating a marketing campaign for self-employed entrepreneurs who are having a hard time qualifying for conventional home loan financing due to their complicated income structures, their ability to shelter their income from taxation due to legitimate tax write-offs, and complex financial structures of their business. I've created an entrepreneur self-employed mortgage program that solves for all of these challenges and their mortgage qualifications, and now I need your help to market this unique mortgage program directly to self-employed entrepreneurs. Your job is to play the part of a marketing expert like Donald Miller or Dan Kennedy, and help me think through how I can effectively locate, Write an effective marketing message that resonates with self-employed entrepreneurs and ultimately creates leads for our self-employed entrepreneur home loan products. What message and media would be most effective to reach self-employed entrepreneurs who want to buy homes but have been declined by conventional lenders? That is a thorough prompt, right? Rather than saying, hey, give me a script for self-employed borrowers who have a hard time qualifying for a home loan. Like, you're going to get an answer with both of those prompts, but the one that you spent 5 minutes just going, okay, how can I make this as specific as humanly possible is going to be so much better than just randomly typing that. So over if you take nothing else from this section, it's take the time to be thorough in your prompting, because when you are thorough in your prompting, you will get such better results, especially after you've customized your GPT to speak in the way that you want to speak. And so, what we're going to do is we're going to do some real life examples that I've primed up. I have not even searched it yet, so I have no idea what the answers are going to be. But I'm going to share my screen and we're going to do some live chat GPTing on creating social media content. So for those of you who follow me on social media, you guys know I do a ton of video stuff and put it out everywhere I can. I love longer blog posts on places like LinkedIn and Facebook, and I'm always looking for good ideas. So what we're going to do is we are going to, I'm going to go to my Chrome here, and I'm going to share my screen. And I read this article on Housing Wire yesterday about housing starts, and I was like, "Oh, that's a cool bit of information, right?" So it talked about, hey, this is what's going on with housing starts. They exceeded estimates, strong demand for multifamily units. It's got all these percentages in here and charts, and like this is for someone like me, right? Like I am a nerd on economic data, on housing information. Like this article is designed for me, but I want to try and create something around this article and create some sort of post around it, right? So what I did this morning is I went into ChatGPT and I typed this. I'm a mortgage loan officer in Northern California, and I'm looking to take the article linked below and attached to turn it into two different scripts. One designed for a short form video optimized for Instagram and TikTok, and one designed as written text for Facebook and LinkedIn. My goal is to educate the general public on the specifics of this article without being too dense for a layman. I want them to understand the importance of the information in the article on my local real estate market and specifically the impact for first time homebuyers. Act as though you are a world class social media expert on creating virality and views on the content. Please ask me if you need additional information before creating the scripts. And then I just posted the link down here. And then I printed a PDF of the article. And the reason I did both is because, for example, Housing Wire, you have to have a subscription. So sometimes if you've got like an article that's behind a paywall or you need a subscription, chat can't actually go in and access the article. And so I printed it and uploaded a copy so it had it, because sometimes it comes back and says that. If you're just showing an article from CNBC or Fox Business or Redfin or somewhere like that, like you can just post the article or give it the link and it'll go to work for you. So I have no idea what this is going to say. I have not pressed enter, and let's see what happens. Let's do it live. Perfect. Thanks for sharing the article. I'll give you two tailored scripts based on it. A short form video script for Instagram and TikTok and a written postscript. Here's my short form video script, right? Are fewer housing permits a red flag for a recession? Let's break down this fast, right? And now it gives me the whole script to read and a call to action at the end. And then it also gave me a script that I can copy and paste, which I will do as soon as we finish this webinar, that we can copy and paste and put right into Facebook and LinkedIn. But at the end, it says, Jason, before I finalize, do you want me to localize the scripts even further with specific Bay Area stats or keep them broader and tied to national and NorCal context? Well, I'll just tell it. Localize the scripts even further. I say please, because if these robots ever become self-aware, I want them to know that I said please. Okay. Perfect. Let's localize these so they resonate directly with Bay Area and Northern California buyers. Okay. Here's what matters to you in Northern California. Our inventory is painfully tight, but in many Bay Area counties, months of supply at 2 months, right? Balanced market's closer to 6. I think it's 4, so I could adjust this, right? What could change that? Mortgage rates. They keep sliding towards 6%. Builders may jump back into single family construction, blah, blah, blah. Here's the written version. I got little emojis in there, takeaways for first-time home buyers. Your affordability isn't just about what rate you lock in, it's about how many homes you have to choose from. If rates keep trending down, we could see both better affordability and more inventory for buyers trying to get a foothold in our market, right? So, and it just keeps asking more questions. Do you want me to layer in hyperlocal stats? Sure. Got it. Let's layer in some local stats. You can flash them as on-screen text graphics in the video for credibility, right? So nationally, here's Bay Area overlay, giving you all kinds of ideas, right? You don't have to pay for a marketing department to do this, right? Like I just happened to read that article, pasted it in here, and boom, my marketing is done. And this is all done for you, right? Would you want me to build out a suggested graphic package? Yes. Here's some graphic outlines, right? So it'll tell you what should go in the back. So if I have a video editor, so I could be like, hey, this is what I want you to do. Boom, and give them instructions and off they go with it, right? You can also draft these graphics. Yes, draft these graphics, please. Now this takes a minute, right? So uh, this is not going to pop up as fast as the text did, but we'll come back and revisit it and give it some time to come up with those graphics. And sometimes, honestly, the graphics are a little but you know, okay, let's see. Let's download the file. Permits drop. Okay, so I'm gonna have to share my other screen over here to see what it came into. And this is the graphic that it created. There's your national housing permits year over year, right? Like now you've got a graphic marketing department doing this for you as well, right? So this is an example of some of the things that you can do from a marketing perspective. Let's see. Yes, sorry, I'm just going through the chat. Yes, we're definitely going to give a recording, so we'll be good there. Am I asking specifics on the verbiage to use in your initial set? Oh, that's you, E. Okay. All right, so that's one example, right, of taking an article and you're looking for something to put on social media. So many of you guys are like, I don't want to post on social media. I don't know what to post. I just want to post my food pictures and my grandbabies and just go from there. Like that took you 2 seconds. You got a hot article off the press and you turned it into something that people think that you're an expert. So let's use another example. So I just pulled a random I pulled a random property off of Zillow. Where's my other screen? Social media scripts. Share social media scripts. There we go. Okay, so I randomly chose a property on Zillow. I'm sorry if this is any of your properties. It was the first one that I popped up in Vacaville. And one of the things that you can do is you can really use these things to upgrade your listing descriptions, right? So I'm just going to take this, copy this link, and I'm going to go, can you please write this property description like Ryan Serhant? See what happens. Paste the link to Zillow. It's going out. You can see it right here. And here's a Ryan Serhant style property description for 512 Corte Alta, crafted to bring confidence, swagger, cinematic flair, and storytelling. Right, so it gives you a picture of this, a serene cul-de-sac in Vacaville, where legends say even the fireflies envy the curb appeal. Right, like you can, and if this is like too much for you, you don't have to do the Ryan Serhant price. Right, but this gives you some different ways to write it, right? I could also say, could you rewrite this property description and not sound like AI? Because a lot of people are like, oh, that's AI written. Okay, let's give this a natural human flow. Welcome to 512 Corte Alta, single story home with classic California charm, tucked away on a quiet cul-de-sac right across from North Orchard Park. Blah, 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 right? You can do this. I know you guys do a great job in spending a lot of time putting together listing descriptions, but this did it in 10 seconds and, is either better or really close to what you would have done anyway. And so this is another thing that you can use very quickly to make your life a little bit easier, right? What normally might have taken you 20 minutes is cut, paste, go. The other thing that I think you can use this a lot for that can be powerful is client communication. If you were to, let's say you get a home inspection back and it's whatever, 19 pages or something, and it's gobbledygook that you're like, this is, you got to sit there and explain it to a client, you can drop that PDF of the inspection here into ChatGPT and ask it to summarize the inspection report in plain English and craft an email that you then cut, paste, send. Boom. And because you've spent the time going in and customizing the GPT to your voice, you can upload emails of yourself. You can upload your website copy, videos. You can let it go to your social media links so it learns what you sound like, what your voice is, so that its responses continue to get closer and closer to what you actually sound like, what that email might actually look like. And it's just going to get better and better the more that you use it. So these are just some quick intermediate level things that you can do to kind of really take advantage of AI. All right. Any questions from there? I don't see
No
anything.
new questions. I was wondering if Debbie saw my message because she has not responded.
I see your message. But uh, yeah, so Debbie, I was hoping we could get an actual walkthrough at a slower pace on setup. Yes, if we have some time, we'll go back to that, but obviously we can obviously chat online also or offline also and can certainly help. Cool. And E, I think, oh no, you're responding to her and to me. That's why. Okay, she says she sees your responses. Cool. So let's then, this is the intermediate level, and this is where I think the majority of you guys can stay, right? You don't necessarily have to go, full bore in this. Pam, I do think you need the upgraded version to get the voice recognition. I don't think that the voice version works on free, at least the conversational one. So I think the majority of you guys can stay in this intermediate range and have a blast, right? Like you'll be able to go in there and just you can go in there and I've seen some really cool things like just in your personal life, right? You can go in there and say like, okay, your kid wants to have a Morgan Wallen themed birthday party. Okay, go in there. My child is a 10-year-old girl and she wants to have a Morgan Wallen themed birthday party. Can you come up with some ideas of fun games and things of that nature that we can do for a birthday party? And it will come back and it will give you graphics. It'll give you, games that you can play. It'll give you all kinds of stuff like thank you, Jay Ray. You can use it for everything, not just business. But I think if you just kind of focus on trying something, like why not ask if chat can do it? You can absolutely just go in there and play with it and see what it can do because there's very little that I have found that it can't do just by asking it. Now, I'm going to spend, 10 minutes or so just kind of going into the kind of black diamond version of kind of advanced levels of use cases here. So let's go back to screen sharing. And the way that the thing that I want to kind of explain when it comes to, really advanced use is the idea of creating a custom GPT. And essentially, what a custom GPT is it allows you, either as a business person or an individual, to create specific AI tools that are designed specifically for your unique needs. And so this is where things can get really advanced, right? You can create automated, customer support. You can generate targeted content. You can have it assist with research. You can have it create educational materials. I kind of touched on this a little bit briefly, but you can create a custom brand voice as an example, right? So a personal assistant that's built on your voice. So if you're uploading a bunch of your emails, if you're giving it the link to your Instagram and your Facebook and things like that, the LLM will learn to speak like you. And now you can create that GPT to do any number of projects on your behalf in your voice. One of the things, and I'll talk about this myself, is you can upload your call transcripts. If you do Zoom meetings or you do phone calls, and we'll talk about this in a second, we here at Neo, we pride ourselves on this concept of Kaizen. Kaizen is the Japanese word for continuous improvement, right? Just a little bit better every single day. And the way that you do that is you go back and you watch game film of yourself to get better, right? Professional athletes, they finish playing a game, they go back and start watching game film of themselves. And ChatGPT, you can create a custom GPT that does that, and you can do it to have them coach you like someone you would love to coach you would, right? Whether it be Tom Ferry, Buffini, whomever, like you can customize this GPT to do this. One of the things that I'm working on right now is I'm working on creating a GPT that basically takes my client conversation, the transcripts, and then pulls the relevant data from those calls and transcripts and automatically puts it in my CRM and then automatically crafts follow-up emails. And so I'm going to give you an example of something that I'm using. So this, I'm going to hold it up to the screen here. Actually, let me take off my screen so you can see this. This is a tool called Applaud. This thing attaches with a magnet on the back of my phone. And what it does is it records my conversations on the phone. It's not verbally like recording like an actual recording that I go back and listen to, but it's taking a transcript. And what at first I was using this for is if I'm out on the road and one of you sends me a client that's like, hey, they have to talk right now, and they don't have time to wait until you to set an appointment when you're in front of your computer. No problem. I turn this plot on, I pick up my phone, and I sit down and I have that 30-minute dreams and goals call, or take the application, whatever you want to call it. And it begins to then transcribe that conversation. I don't need a pen. I don't need a piece of paper. I don't need to write anything down. I just sit here and I focus on that client, and we're creating connection. And at the end of that call, what happens is I get a transcript from that call from Plot. And this is where, which in and of itself, that's pretty cool, right? Like that's a pretty cool tool to be able to do that. But this is where ChatGPT and creating a custom GPT comes into play. And we don't have enough time to show you exactly how to create a whole new GPT. But what I'll tell you is it's very easy. And it's easy because if you don't know what it's talking about or you don't know what to do next, you just say, I don't know how to do that. And ChatGPT will tell you how to do it, like the whole thing. And so what I'm doing with mine is I am uploading those transcripts into ChatGPT. So I've taken a loan application. They gave me, this is where I work. This is my social, my date of birth. And again, this is where having the enterprise account where their information is locked down and safe is important. But I'm uploading that entire conversation into ChatGPT based on the transcript that was taken by my plot. From there, I created a custom GPT to shoot out a summary of that call, right? So my production partner Matthew can see, okay, he's gonna see all this and go, okay, I know what's going on exactly with this file. I understand who the client is, etc. Then from there, for those of you who are familiar with the DISC assessment, which is kind of like a personality assessment, I have the custom GPT review the transcript, review it based on disc profiles, and tell me specifically what this client is. Are they a high D? Are they a high S? Are they a high I? Right? Like, because our communication styles may need to change based on the personality type of the person I'm talking to. If I'm talking to an engineer that's very analytical, that's different than talking with someone who just likes to chat all day and just lovey-dovey and those kinds of things. And so by then putting that into the custom GPT, it can then craft my follow-up emails to that client going forward, right? If it's just give me the facts, the emails get very specific and short. If it's someone who likes to talk a lot, that is more emotive, right? Like it's going to change those discussions and those emails that it drafts and the communication style based on that transcript. And then from there, again, the next part that I'm working on is getting it to take that information from the conversation that I had on my plot and then automatically logging into my CRM and putting it all in there. So I don't have to take the data entry of this is John Smith. They work at Kaiser. They are a radiologist, have been there 4 years. It's already done and it's into my CRM automatically. Those are tasks that have been important to my business and they'd be important to yours to know, they got 4 kids and their names are Tommy and Elizabeth and whatever. Like they've got a dog named, Fido. Those are little pieces of information that you guys have that you use to build connection. If you create a custom GPT that automatically summarizes that and then puts it into your CRM or does anything else, you are only held up by your own imagination here. And you can then use that to make your day and your life a lot more efficient. And so those are like that's the black diamond level, like really where you want to get to is creating those custom GPTs to be built around whatever ideas you have, right? Like, and this is where you as a business owner really can change the game a little bit because little ideas that you previously you'd be like, I can't afford to have someone build that out, or I can't afford to hire an assistant to do this or that, the other thing. You now have the ability to do it. Someone will do it for you. AI will do it for you for 20 bucks a month. And those are the opportunities that AI can provide. And we can dive much deeper into this. Steph, I saw,
I was just
you,
about to interrupt you and ask you about that.
yeah. So the, I don't know that I can necessarily share mine because mine's on an enterprise account. I don't think I can make um, the GPT public. But what I would say is you can go into the number one, I'm obviously happy to talk to you offline and just tell you what I told it to do that. Uh, but the other piece is you can go in, if you go in on ChatGPT on the left side, there's a section that says ChatGPT or it says GPTs. You can click in there and that's like it's searchable for all kinds of like public information and public GPTs that have already been created. There's already people who have uploaded every page of the Fannie Mae, Freddie Mac, FHA HUD handbook to go, give you guidelines, right? If you have questions on guidelines and you don't want to go to all regs, same thing. I'm sure there are real estate similar types of GPTs that have already been created. Spend some time, go in there and see what somebody else has already done to give you either A, inspiration to create something similar, or B, just use it, right? And so I think there's just a ton that can be done here from a you know just creativity standpoint, and you don't need to hire somebody to do it for 21 bucks a month. 20 bucks a month that someone will AI will do it for you. You're only going to be limited by your own creativity. So those are kind of the things that I have found it really useful, and I think that you guys can as well. And yes, Taylor, yes, for sure. You got to, I tell every client, and the way that I would script this, if I, if you're looking for a way to go, hey, I want to make sure that my client knows that we're recording this conversation. You want to make sure you're saying something along the lines of, hey, I don't want to spend my time, writing notes, or if you're on computer, just sitting here typing. I would rather make sure that we're spending time, getting a chance to connect, make sure I'm deeply listening to what you're saying. Is it okay if I, record for a transcript of this conversation and I'll send it to you when we're done? Because again, your GPT is going to create it for you, a summary of the salient points that you had in your discussion, and send it to them after the fact. So 100%, you definitely want to get permission before you're going from there. And I would say I think iPhone has the ability just to like record a voice version of this. So I don't know how that works. I'm an Android guy, but
Android
I
also does that.
okay, cool. So
There's just a record button right on the phone screen.
okay. Yeah, so I mean, you can do it that way too. I don't know how good the notes are and that kind of thing on the other side of it, but again, if you want to try that as the free version instead of paying for Applaud, you can do that as well. So cool. Where did that land for you? Questions that like in general, just kind of where what you may have
No,
gotten from it.
well, I mean, I use ChatGPT a lot. I use it a lot for the marketing here. Make a lot of good flyers. You could really alter photos any kind of which way you want. In the chat, John said hi to Kona, guest
Huh,
starring in the back there.
Kona,
Oh, there's
she's not
Doc.
listening. She's asleep.
But yeah, I mean, it's really great for us. We use it all the time.
Yeah, and again, I'll take it back to what we said right off the top, right? Take the time to just use it as a search function. Replace Google with it for a week or two, and then just start just using it a little bit more, a little bit more, a little bit more on other things, personal, professional, and you guys will be blown away. And again, this isn't necessarily a sales pitch for ChatGPT. There's lots of other things. There's a really cool video one called Hey Gen that I'm playing around with right now. And there's all kinds of ways that you can do this. The other piece that I would give you guys on this that I think is really important is give it as much information on your brand as possible. So for example, I have a colleague in Park City, and he was telling us that he got last month he got 8 leads, and you won't believe where from. ChatGPT. Somebody was on there asking about mortgage companies and da da da, and somehow ChatGPT crawled his information on the internet and recommended him. And so what did he do? He went back, he pulled every blog post, every little thing he's ever written, and uploaded it and said, "What else do you need to refer me to more people when they ask about a mortgage lender?" And it gave him like 29 different things for him to go and do.
I
So
can actually, I have experience with that too. I was searching some information on chat and it actually came up with Deanna Deckard's blog.
see,
That's local.
Yeah, I don't think Deanne is on here, but like there you go.
Yeah.
Like it's crawling. So I want to make sure that you guys aren't not doing the things you're already doing, right? Like make sure that your clients are going on Google and Zillow and leaving reviews and all those kinds of things, because chat is crawling the internet for information to give it back to someone. So you want to make sure that your information is easy to find. And there's no easier way to find it, given that it's a large language model that learns from itself. But just upload all your information and go, hey, I just want to make sure you know how to find me, right? If people are looking for someone to help in whatever your industry is, right? Whether escrow, title, realtor, like anybody, loan officer, put that stuff in there, because I know for a fact that it is bringing business in the door for some people. So, yeah, take advantage of this, guys. I would love to make sure you guys have some takeaways from this. And so, to that end, everybody who attended today, I'm going to email you out. We created $10 million prompts, right? And these are prompts specifically for agents, but you can tweak them if you're in one of our partner industries. And I'm going to email those out to everybody who attended. So you'll get that. You'll get the recording. What else can I tell you? I'll just put my information on the screen real quick, just in case you guys have any questions and you want to connect after the fact. I'm happy to help you guys set up your voice and customize your profile and personalize those things. I'm happy to do that for you. If you want help creating a full GPT, I'm happy to do all this stuff. Like I'm super engaged with this, and I promise you, you do not need to be a tech expert for this. This is very, very simple stuff. And when you don't know how to do something, you just tell ChatGPT, I don't know how to do that, and it'll tell you how to do it. So again, appreciate your guys' time. We'll send that out, Ed. The best prompt fantasy football draft. That is definitely an offline conversation. So again, appreciate your guys' time. Have a great week, and thanks for stopping by. See ya.